time or time management or communicating your time is all very important things to consider. So have you ever been to an appointment, or you were supposed to have an appointment and it was cancelled, or the person didn't show up? And I'm sure you have done it too, right? It says a lot more about you than you think, and the person who might have cancelled. It comes in many shapes and forms. I'm sure you said yes to a free event and you didn't show up, or you probably think it had zero impact when you didn't show up, but it does have quite an impact for people who are doing free stuff, events, gatherings, and you say you're gonna go and you don't go. It does impact them, and it does impact the general purpose of the event. So maybe you schedule a free call for something. Maybe you were interested in joining something. In my case, this is often the mentorship. People book a call and then they don't show up, and you prioritize something else. That also says a lot about you and your intention. Or even when you all have an interview, or maybe you're a recruiter, which is the main reason I'm making this video, is because I've noticed that a lot of people, they schedule, they cancel, they make a new schedule, and they still didn't show up. That tells a lot about you and the company you're representing, right? So whenever we communicate, we're also dealing with time, our time, but also someone else's time, right? So time management is important for yourself and others. It tells a lot about your character and how you perceive yourself, your time, and just generally how you walk through your life and how much control you have over what you're doing, right? It shows respect for yourself and other people. It shows you're trustworthy and dependent while also being serious, right? So, for example, if you're waking up every day and you have no idea what you're doing, you're essentially saying, hey, the world decides what I'm doing. I have no control. That to me enters you into what I call the victim mindset, in the sense that you are not in control of your choices, and you can always lean back and say, oh, it wasn't me. I mean, this came up and that came up. So what I do recommend is you need to be able to show that you are a trusting person, and to start with that, you need to be aware of what you're doing every day and why you're doing something and how to go on about it, okay? So if you wake up every day and you actually know what you're doing, you're one step closer to whatever you want to achieve. And this becomes even more important when you're doing online networking, scheduling, interviews, and all kind of things, right? So if you don't schedule, and let's say you want to do some 3D modeling or lighting, right? You should put that in your schedule. You should have a reason to wake up, have a reason to brush your teeth, go to your training, come back home, doing your phone calls, catching up with everyone, loved ones, and reason to sit down and reason to focus. But what happens? Well, a lot of people, they get distracted. You check your emails, you are watching Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is, and you get distracted, and the time that was meant for you to do something important to you and productive for your long-term goal, you wasted it, and then you wonder what happened. And now this happens as a bad habit, and 1 day passes, 2 day passes, 3 day passes, time passed, and life doesn't change. So that is why it's important, okay? Being a great artist does not start with your ability to do great art. That is a very mistaken, I don't know who told you that, but that is not true. Being a great artist, being a great person, being great at anything starts with you controlling yourself, your impulses, and your time. So I'm going to give you one quick overview of one way of doing it, okay? It's a very simple way of doing it. It's called time blocking. It's one of many things I teach in my mentorship. So if you do like it and you're interested in maybe getting access to the course for a discounted rate, please leave a comment to show your interest, and preferably also try and find me on Discord or social media or LinkedIn and message me that you are keen to changing your life and improving, the necessary things that's needed for you to actually make an impact. So I'm going to give you the simplest version. It's not really the simplest version, but it should give you an idea of one way of managing time. Now, I manage my time in many different ways, and I'd like to show you time blocking. So time blocking uses, so the idea is that you divide the day into blocks of time, with each block dedicated to doing a very specific task. You can see I exercise, I did my calls that I need to do, and then I'm about to do the content development, which I'm doing right now. You can see I'm 10 minutes ahead of schedule, which is why these are buffers. It's in case something takes too much time or too little time. I need to go to toilet or take a quick snack, whatever it is. That's what the white areas are. So here it says content development, then later on today I'm recording, then I'm playing. Yes, I schedule in my leisure time. Okay, I am disciplined to the point that I know exactly what I'm taking away and what I'm doing. Otherwise, there's no system to your life. There's no purpose. This is my belief. Okay. So this is time blocking, and you have task batching, which is basically says I will reply to all my emails by 3 p.m. or 8:45 p.m. or 10 p.m. whatever it is. It's a very specific task that you have a deadline to. Day theming is another version of time blocking. It basically says, so let's say I wanted to combine content development and recording courses, which makes sense, right? I could combine that to a whole day. So Monday is content development, and then maybe I would say Tuesday is recording courses. Wednesday, maybe that's a gaming day, like I do make a whole day for it. So that's what day theming is. And time boxing is similar but often confused with time blocking and task batching. It's a very specific deadline on what to do within a certain time by the day afterwards. So for example, I need to finish recording courses by tomorrow at 11 a.m. So this might be the deadline I have. The course is over. So you generally, this is something that is useful. It's something that's realistic. It's something everyone can basically pick up and do. So this is one of many ways of doing things, and people do in different ways. They function in different ways. So this might not work for you, but there are many other ways, and I can help you with that. I can teach you with that. But I wanted to point out the purpose of this video is, one, respect your time and respect other people's time. Okay, it is for me personally. If I have a meeting and people don't show up, you come afterwards. I have a log. I do have a system of keeping track of people who don't show up. So I have your email, I have your probably phone number, I probably have your social media, and I know if you come back to me that, hey, this person canceled twice or this person didn't show up, and you know, I'll have a conversation. But you're already down on my list of how I respect people. If there's something I respect in people, is their ability to respect time and my time specifically. So as you can see, I plan my days a lot, which obviously means I'm more susceptible for whether respecting my time or not, and I give you the same opportunity as well. If I'm scheduling something, if I have to cancel and move around, I will normally give a good reason to it, or I will make up for it. But when you cancel or move something and you don't even give a reason, and you just say, hey, let's schedule it for another day, and then you didn't show up again, that's a big red flag for me. And which I do this even when it comes to job offers, job interviews, anything that actually in reality would put me in a good position or even pay me, like could be anything really. I would still turn down the opportunity, or I would not engage further in that opportunity, simply because that person did not respect my time and took it for granted, because they didn't respect their own time. They didn't even manage their own time. Like, that tells me a lot, that you have no control over what's happening when it's happening, and you don't have a system to follow up, which is also the next part for a next video. Maybe is you have to communicate this part. You know, you can't just not show up and not communicate, not apologize afterwards or before or in between. You gotta do that. It's very important to do that as well. If there's no communication, that's even worse. So that's like a layer on top of the fact that you didn't show up. Okay, this happens very often when I have free talks, free events, free calls, and people don't show up. I remember that. I do not forget that you didn't show up. You literally wasted my time. I said probably no to going out. I probably said no to having a good time. I probably said no to a loved one because I already scheduled you a week ahead of time and you didn't show up. That's not a small thing. That's a big deal. So think about it. That has a huge impact for someone. You just literally took them away for an hour to meet you and you didn't show up. And they could have been doing something else in that evening, that morning. So please get good at this. Try using it. Leave a comment if you already use it, your experience. If not, Again, contact me if you want the full experience, the full course. It has a discount right now. It's behind the walls. It's not public yet, so that's why it's a discount. Only thing I ask in return is you give me feedback on what else you need. Okay, so thank you for watching, and have a good day.